Police lights flickered off my living room wall the night my 14-year-old son was accused of being a threat in his own backyard, behind our own locked gate, just because we dared to say no to a neighbor who thought the rules didn't apply to her. Our sanctuary turned into a battlefield overnight. And that's the moment I realized this wasn't just about a pool or a fence. This was about fighting for our right to exist, for the kind of peace you have to claim and defend, sometimes with everything you've got. You know, people talk about making it like it's a prize you win once and get to keep. Maybe that's true for some folks. For us, it was a house in Westview Oaks, 2 stories, big yard, perfect blue pool, everything I'd busted my back for as an engineer, everything my wife Vanessa, a professor, had poured her soul into. We wanted our son, Jamie, to have the kind of easy, sun-soaked summer we never got. Laughter, cannonballs, friends, not a care in the world. But let me tell you, in neighborhoods like this, there's always someone watching, someone itching for control. Ours was Linda Baxter, frosted hair, pinched lips, eyes sharp enough to etch glass. She lived next door, always peering from her window, always muttering about HOA rules like she'd written them herself. First it was our trash bin, an inch too far from the curb. "Not per community standards," she'd shout from her porch. Then it was the pool. "I hope you're not using too much chlorine. Might kill my roses," she'd warn. Or, "Jamie and his friends sure are rowdy. Hope they're not bothering the neighbors." I tried to laugh it off, told Jamie to be polite, told myself it was harmless. But Linda and her husband, Bill, he's on the HOA board. See, they don't ask, they tell. Then came the day she knocked. Not at the front, but the back gate. Towel over her shoulder, sunglasses on like she owned the sun. "My pool's busted. Grandkids are coming. We'll just use yours." Didn't even ask, just told. Vanessa blinked, tried to be diplomatic. "Sorry, that's not possible. Insurance, liability. You understand." Linda's face curdled, muttered something about unneighborly, stormed off like we'd broken some unwritten law. We changed the lock on the pool gate that afternoon, just to be safe. Didn't know then how much that little click of the lock would change everything. A couple weeks later, I get called into work, city project crisis. Had to leave Jamie home alone. He's a good kid, responsible, tall as me now, but still my little boy. Vanessa's at the university. It's the kind of sticky July heat where you feel like you're swimming in air. Jamie's reading, minding his own business, when he hears rattling outside. He looks out, and there's Linda, yanking at the locked pool gate, swimsuit on, face set like she's about to invade Normandy. Jamie goes outside, polite but firm. "Can I help you, Mrs. Baxter?" She spins, flashes that fake, sweet smile, says, "Oh, I was just coming for a dip. Your parents said I could." A flat out lie. Jamie stands his ground. "No, they didn't. This gate's locked for a reason." He folds his arms. He's got my spine and Vanessa's brains. Linda's smile snaps. She shrieks, "My husband's on the HOA board. You let me in now, or I'll call the police." Jamie doesn't flinch, just goes back inside. That's when Linda loses it, starts screaming about respect. Elders, even yells that she's going to have us kicked out of the neighborhood. Then, right there in our backyard, she calls 911, tells them there's a suspicious male refusing her entry. That's the part that'll haunt me. The way the world can twist on a dime when the wrong person decides your kid doesn't belong. Lucky for us, old Mr. Collins from across the street, retired Army, hears the whole thing. He marches over, voice like thunder, tells Linda to hang up, warns her she's trespassing and about to commit a crime. She backs down. But I know it's not over. Cops show up anyway, 2 cruisers, lights off, polite but suspicious. I break every speed limit getting home after Jamie calls me, heart in my throat. Cops treat me like an equation, not a homeowner. "Just a misunderstanding, sir," they say. Neighborhood disputes happen. I want to scream. Instead, I make sure Jamie's okay, try to swallow the rage. The real kicker? Next morning, I get an official email from the HOA, complaint filed for nuisance, unneighborly conduct, listing everything from verbal aggression to loud parties. Of course, Bill Baxter's signature is on it, with that bland, smug tone only people who've never faced real consequences can pull off. They want a formal hearing, want to put my son on trial in front of the whole board. My wife puts her hand on my shoulder. They can't win with facts, so they weaponize the system. And she's right. I feel the ground shifting beneath us. Every neighbor's smile suddenly brittle. We get anonymous notes. Some people don't belong. Loud music is bad character. That sort of thing. Their daughter, Heather, moves in for backup, films us from her phone, glares whenever Jamie steps outside. I start wondering if it's worth it, if maybe we should just move, start over, let them have their precious rules and empty peace. That night, I sit at the kitchen table staring at the HOA email, rage and exhaustion fighting in my chest. I want to quit. God, I want to quit. But then, something snaps. CPS shows up. Anonymous tip about neglect. Claims Jamie is troubled. I feel like I'm suffocating, having to prove I'm a good father to a stranger because some bitter woman next door wants to win a war nobody else is even fighting. CPS closes the case in an hour, says it's malicious, unfounded. But now I'm done playing defense. I'm an engineer. I solve problems. So I hire a lawyer, not just any lawyer, but a shark who eats HOA bullies for breakfast. We document everything, emails, footage, witness statements. I start digging, and I find it. Baxters have an illegal drain from their laundry room, been dumping gray water into the creek behind their yard for years. No permits. Straight up environmental crime. And get this, their old well was never capped when the subdivision switched to city water. Another major violation. That's my lever. I put together every document, photo, permit record, Project Karma, I call it. My lawyer lights up. We've got them. At the HOA hearing, Linda cries crocodile tears. Bill sits smug at the board. Heather films everything. I lay out the facts, calmly, point by point. Jamie stands tall, tells the board exactly what happened. Mr. Collins backs him up. And the CPS letter shatters their last weapon. Board votes to dismiss their complaint. Next morning, my lawyer files complaints with the county and state. Within days, environmental officials are all over their property. Fines, cleanup orders, public embarrassment. Bill has to resign from the board in disgrace. Linda and Heather can't show their faces. We settle in court. They pay every dime of my legal fees. Get slapped with a restraining order. Their house goes up for sale. Neighbors cross the street to avoid them. But I don't feel like celebrating. I feel quiet. A bone, deep satisfaction mixed with sadness. We won. My family's peace is secure. But it shouldn't have taken a war. Still, I watch Jamie swimming in that pool, laughter echoing across our yard. And I know I fought for something real. A peace you build, brick by brick, and defend as long as it takes. Sometimes the fight for peace is the price of keeping it. This is